Seize that old woman!
My son, tell them who I am.
I've never seen her before.
Old woman, leave this place, the palace guard shouted. The elderly woman held her small woven basket with shaking hands. I only came to see my son. The guard frowned. The new village chief says he has never seen you before. Tears filled the old woman's eyes. She looked toward the chief's compound and whispered, "The little boy I carried on my back to the farm now says he has no mother?" Inside the chief's palace, her son heard every word. His hands began to tremble, but he remained silent. Many years earlier, in the peaceful village of Amakiri, lived a widow named Mama Ngozi. Her husband died when their only son, Daniel, was just 5 years old. Life became very difficult. Every morning, before the first rooster crowed, Mama Ngozi tied her wrapper tightly around her waist, balanced a basket of fresh vegetables on her head, and walked to the village market. She also worked on a small piece of farmland where she planted tomatoes, peppers, okra, pumpkins, and cassava. Some market days she sold everything. Other days she returned home with almost nothing. But she never complained. Every coin she earned had only one purpose. My son must go to school, she always said. Daniel was a clever boy. After helping her mother on the farm, he sat under the big mango tree every evening to read his books before darkness covered the village. His teachers believed he would one day become a great leader. Whenever he came first in class, Mama Ngozi danced happily around their little mud house. "You will become someone important," she always said, "but never forget the hands that carried you." Daniel hugged her tightly. "I will never forget you, Mama." Years passed. Daniel finished school with the highest marks in the district. The village elders helped him continue his education in the big city. Before he left, Mama Ngozi sold her only goat and part of her farmland so he would have enough money to begin his new life. The whole village gathered to pray for him. As he climbed into the bus, Mama Ngozi wiped away her tears. "Go and make our village proud." Daniel smiled. "I will come back for you, Mama." At first, Daniel sent letters through travelers. Sometimes he sent a little money. Then the letters stopped, the money stopped. Years passed without a single message. Every evening, Mama Ngozi sat outside her house watching the dusty road that led into the village. Whenever she heard footsteps, her heart jumped, but it was never her son. Some villagers whispered, "He has forgotten where he came from." Mama Ngozi shook her head. "My son would never forget me." She held on to hope. 10 years later, exciting news spread across the village. Daniel had returned. He had become a wealthy businessman and had been chosen as the new village chief because of the many projects he promised to bring to the community. The entire village celebrated. Women sang. Drums echoed through the air. Mama Ngozi smiled through happy tears. She filled a woven basket of fresh tomatoes, peppers, and vegetables from her little garden. She said, "My son loves these. I will surprise him." When she arrived at the chief's palace, she admired the large compound filled with visitors. "My son has done well," she whispered proudly. She walked toward the entrance, but 2 palace guards blocked her path. "Where are you going?" "I came to see my son, Chief Daniel." One guard walked inside. Moments later, Daniel stepped onto the veranda. He saw his mother's old wrapper, her worn sandals, the basket she carried on her head. Important visitors stood beside him. His face became stiff. He slowly shook his head. "I don't know that woman." The guard turned to Mama Ngozi. "You heard the chief. You must leave." The basket slipped from her hands. Fresh tomatoes rolled across the dusty ground. Without saying a word, she bent down, picked up the vegetables one by one, and quietly walked away. The entire village watched in silence. That night, Daniel could not sleep. The sound of the rolling tomatoes kept returning to his mind. He remembered his mother carrying him on her back while working on the farm. He remembered the many nights she went to bed hungry so he could eat. He remembered the day she sold her goat and farmland so he could leave the village. Tears filled his eyes. For the first time in many years, he cried. Before sunrise the next morning, Daniel ran to his mother's little mud house. She was already outside watering her vegetable garden. When she saw him, she smiled gently. "My son." Before she could say another word, Daniel fell to his knees. He held her feet tightly. "Mama, forgive me. I was ashamed that you looked poor, but today I am ashamed of the man I became." Mama Ngozi gently lifted him. She wiped away his tears. "My son," she said softly, "a person's greatest wealth is not a palace. It is the people who sacrificed so that he could stand." Daniel cried even harder. From that day forward, Daniel openly honored his mother before the whole village. He repaired her little house, but Mama Ngozi still chose to work in her small vegetable garden every morning. Not because she needed money, but because honest work had carried her family through every storm. Whenever visitors praised Chief Daniel for his wisdom, he would smile and point to his mother. "If you wish to know who built my life, do not look at me. Look at the woman who carried vegetables on her head and carried me in her heart." And from that day on, he never again denied the woman who had given him everything. Moral of the story: never be ashamed of the people who sacrificed for you. True greatness begins with gratitude, and no amount of wealth can replace a mother's love.